What's up, everybody? Welcome to some Green Black Savage Constrictor. There we go, if I could say it. Hope you're ready. Hope you're excited. Let's get our graveyards all squared up. There we go. I do want a mulligan. No, I actually like this hand. We've got Arcbound Ravager, we've got Hangerback, we have Ancient Stirring. So, yeah, we're going to go and keep on this one. See what we're playing against. Hope you're excited. Yeah, I just played a game against Mill. I don't think I'm going to post it up. It was an incomplete video. But, yeah, man. I got triple Hedron Crabbed into Glensam Thinkable. Pretty gnarly. Don't know what I did to deserve that. Let's go to get the Windswept Heath down. We'll get down the Ancient Stirrings, and I'll kind of explain what we got going on. Okay, let's go and get the Windswept Heath down. Let's go and crack that. Okay, and then let's go ahead and let's go and grab an Overgrown Tomb. That way, just in case we do get into Liliana, let's go and shock that in. Let's go for the Ancient Stirring. See what we hit. Draw another Hangerback Walker. Let's go ahead and go for Hangerback. I'm actually okay with that. And put those on the bottom in any order, then we're going to go ahead and pass the turn. So we're looking at Catacombs next turn. We can go for the Ancient Stirrings, or we can just go for Arcbound Ravager. But yeah. So this is Green Black Constrictor. Basically, it's kind of like we've seen the standard Green Black Constrictor deck do good in standard, and I kind of wanted to port it over to modern to see what we kind of come up with. And here we are, pretty fun. We're taking advantage of Hardened Scales, also taking advantage of Winding Constrictor to get those extra +1 counters. Running Arcbound Ravager as a way to start sacrificing our artifacts to get extra counters on there. We're also running Walking Ballista and the Hangerback Walker to get extra Thopter counters. Okay, and we're also running Metallic Mimic. Really cool card, man. Let's go ahead and crack the Catacombs. Let's go ahead and go. Let's grab a Swamp on that one. Actually, we'll go ahead and grab a Overgrown Tomb. I think we're okay on that one. Let's go and shock that in. Let's go Metallic Mimic, naming a Construct. That way our Hangerback Walker is going to come in with an extra counter. And if this is, we saw turn 1 Swamp and Inquisition of Kozilek, so I don't know if this is Abzan, Grixis, 8-Rack, but I do know that a Hangerback Walker with a bunch of counters on it is a really good thing to have because once it dies, you can get those Thopters up and running. And then, if we can find our way into the Hardened Scales or a a Winding Constrictor, we can kind of start amplifying those counters out from there. It also gets into spots where, they just blasted it away, but we're okay with that. But you also get into spots where if you get down a bunch of Thopters off Hangerback Walker, you can, just a simple -2 from Nissa, putting those +1 counters on all your Thopters is usually enough to kind of close the game out for you. Let's go and crack this Windswept Heath. It looks like we're probably playing against Abzan with that Marsh Flats. Let's go and get the Forest down. Let's go for the Ancient Stirrings. Let's go ahead and grab that Catacomb. Put those on the bottom in any order. Let's go ahead and lead off with Arcbound Ravager. That way if we do draw into Hardened Scales or the Constrictor, we can get down the Hangerback Walker, take advantage of those extra counters, or let's say we draw into a Savage Summoning, that we can cast the Hangerback Walker for a little bit, kind of just get that little extra counter on there. And yeah, we're also running the, we haven't seen it yet, but we're running Savage Summoning in the deck. So, with Savage Summoning, if we have 1 mana up, instant speed, we can cast it at the end of our turn, our opponent's turn. It can't be countered. Then it says the next creature spell you cast has Flash, and it can't be countered, and it hits the battlefield with an additional +1 counter. So, really, the deck's not built around trying to get off a Savage Summoning for a really big creature. Mainly what we're looking to do is get down the Constrictor, get down the Hardened Scales, then get into spots where we can just cast Hangerback for free. It's going to enter in the battlefield with a +1 counter. Usually come in as like a 3/3 or something like that. So let's go and get the Catacombs down. Do we want to go for Nissa? Or do we want to go for Hangerback Walker? We can crack and get Hangerback down for a 2/2. Let's go and do that. That way we're going to have at least some sort of answer for these spirits in the air. Then we can follow up with Nissa and kind of block from there. So let's go and grab the Forest. Let's go for Hangerback. Is a 2/2, paying full sticker price, but we're going to be able to, hopefully if we can get into Arcbound Ravager, we can sack and get those counters out there, and then get down this and kind of go from there. So, but I said Abzan earlier. This may actually be black-white tokens now that I see all the black-white lanes out there. Okay, so we got the Spirit token swinging in for 2/2 in the air, 4 total, putting us down to 8. So we draw into Metallic Mimic. Let's go in for Ancient Stirrings. See what we hit. We draw the Walking Ballista. Let's go ahead and go. Let's grab the Walking Ballista on this one. Put those on the bottom in any order. They're coming in for 4 next turn. I mean, yeah, that's going to put us down to 8. We go Metallic Mimic. We get on Walking Ballista. It's going to enter the battlefield an additional +1 counter on there. We don't have a way to sacrifice the Hangerback to get those extra flying threats in the air. Yeah, let's go ahead and go Metallic Mimic. Name Construct on that. And then I guess we can go and swing in for 2. That way if they offer up the trade, we'll get those extra counters. So we'll go and swing in for 2. And if they want to block, they can block, and awesome, but more than likely they're not. But, okay, get in for 2, drop them down to 15. So if we hit the land drop next turn, we're looking at down getting Nissa and getting down Walking Ballista. We can start blasting some of those creatures over there. One thing we do need is we need a sack outlet for Hangerback to get those extra counters, kind of take care of those spirit tokens up there. Let's see what they're going for now. If this is a Sorin, yep, if it's Sorin, that's... they're going to get the +1, so that's going to be 6, put us down to 2. Now, that does put us at, well, actually, excuse me, they're going to have Vigilance from the Tangible Virtue, so we're not going to be able to swing in on the back end. Okay, drop us down to 2. Let's see what we draw for the turn. Probably drawing dead on this one. Let's see. Winding Constrictor. A little too late, buddy. We can get down Winding Constrictor, get down Walking Ballista from 1. See what that puts us at. Should come in the battlefield, an extra counter. Should be like a 3-3 or 4-4 as far as Walking Ballista is concerned. Okay, 4-4. So we can blast the tokens. They do have Lingering Souls out of the graveyard, so we do have to watch out for that. So let's go ahead and go. Let's go counter. Yeah, it's going to be our only way to kind of deal with Sorin right now. They still have it out of the graveyard, and we're going to be dead pretty much that next turn. But we're still going to just at least going to go ahead and force the issue. Let's go ahead and swing in with Hangerback and Metallic Mimic at Sorin. And so that puts them in a spot where it's a 1-1. They're only going to have to activate the +1, and then they still have the Lingering Souls flash back out of the graveyard. We are at 21. We can't get into spots where we get down Nissa and put a +1 counter on each creature that we control. It's not going to do much in this instance, but because they're going to have 2 across, we have to find some way to deal with both of those creatures in the air. So something that would be good would be a Hangerback, something to sacrifice the Hangerback Walker. But with double intangible virtue, that's going to make it a little rough. So we're going to see what's going on. See what we draw. And we draw, well, draw another Hangerback Walker. But we have no sack outlet, so we're going to go and scoop this one up because we're going to be dead on the back end. And I'm sure our opponent would just be absolutely okay with us swinging in at the sword. So, all right, so we're looking at Lingering Souls. Let's go ahead and bring in the Maltream Pulse. It's going to be good for their Planeswalkers. Anything else? I think I like Scavenging Ooze in this matchup. Bring in a second one. Thoughtseize. An argument could be made for Nature's Claim, blasting some of their stuff, but I think we're going to be okay. I like going the Maltream Pulse and the getting in the extra Scavenging Ooze. Do we want to go? Yeah, let's go ahead and cut back on Liliana. Last thing we want to do is allow them to dump Lingering Souls in the graveyard pretty cheap, and then start flashing it back from there. I do like Nissa in this one. Rite of Passage, I like leaving it the same. Metallic Mimic. We do have to watch her out for a Fatal Push. Let's go and go down on one Savage Summoning. So Savage Summoning is one of those cards that it's good to have it in your hand if you've got the nice board state for it, but you know, it's not actually key parts of the deck, like Rites of Passage, if we're going to go for the combo. Okay, so we've got Metallic Mimic, we've got Hangerback Walker, we've got Lot-Let Troll. We have no Hardened Scales or Winding Constrictor. But we do have double Metallic Mimic. And we can chunk some stuff with Lot-Let Troll. Yeah, let's go and keep on this one. Okay, let's see what we're going to go for. They're gonna have to mulligan. They did mulligan down to 6. See if they if they have to mulligan to 5 or not. And then we get the Catacombs down, and then crack it on our opponent's turn, and then kind of grow from there. Go get the Catacombs down, and then we're gonna go and pass the turn. But yeah, this you know, unfortunately, I played this deck all day yesterday, and I really enjoyed it, and I comboed off a bunch of times. But now when I go to record it, I'm Rite of Passage and not Hangerback, but what's his name? Walking Ballista are nowhere to be found. They're hiding out in the break room, I guess. But it's fun going to combo off with it. Let's go and get the Overgrown Tomb down. And then let's go ahead and go for the Forest. Or Blooming Marsh. That'll be a good play. Yeah, let's go ahead and lead off with Metallic Mimic. That's going to be a good way for us to kind of see if they got Fatal Push or Pet to Exile or something. And then we still have another Metallic Mimic to get down. So, Construct. could technically go zombie or troll, but if we go construct, it's going to give us the best option. So go ahead and F6. See if they've got Fatal Push or Path to Exile in their hand. They did not. They might be holding on to it, but they didn't get it down. So if we go for Metallic Mimic on this at this point, what we can do is we can get another Metallic Mimic down, naming Construct, and then that's going to allow us to Bitter Blossom. So if we can go Metallic Mimic, we can basically just cast both Hangerback Walkers for free because they're going to enter the battlefield with those extra +1 counters on it. If we draw, we do not. I was like, man, just draw Hardened Scales. That'd be beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and get the forest down. Let's go Metallic Mimic again. Gonna name Construct. And then let's go ahead and let's get down Hangerback Walker. And let's go for another Hangerback Walker. Okay. Let's go and swing in. It feels like I'm playing Revolt Zoo, man. Okay, so we're going to go and swing in. They're going to have that Bitter Blossom, but we're looking at 2, 4. We've got 7. We've got 9 coming across next turn. So that's a nice little chunk coming across. And then we still have Lot Troll to kind of turn into any other creatures we've got swinging in. So, okay. And we draw an Ancient Stirring. Let's go and get the Windswept Heath down. Let's go ahead and let's go for this Ancient Stirring. See what we got. Arcbound Ravager. Yeah, I'll take that. That's not too bad. Let's go grab the Arcbound Ravager. Put those on the bottom in any order. Let's go and cast the Arcbound Ravager. That way we get into spots where we can kind of shift a few counters around if we want to kind of get a few extra damage. Okay. And then let's go ahead and let's swing in with the crew. If we lose the extra Metallic Mimic to that Fairy Rogue, we can sack in response, put those counters on there. Or we get into spots where we can just if we get down Winding Constrictor or the Path to Exile on the Hangerback Walker. Let's go ahead and sack in response to that. Okay. We're going to create those 1/1 Thopter artifacts. We're going to get the extra counter on Arcbound Ravager. Unfortunately, we don't have the Constrictor or the Hardened Scales to get the extra counters, but I'll take that. At this point, we've hit all of our land drops. I'd much rather have 2 Thopters in the air than deal with an extra basic land, so... And there might be an extra Fatal Push coming in on Arcbound Ravager, potentially, if they're pausing right now. But what we can do is we can sack Arcbound to its own ability and kind of shift those counters back around over to something like that. Okay, which is exactly what they're going for. Let's go ahead and sack Arcbound Ravager to its own ability. And then what do we want to put the counters on? We could put the counters on the... Yeah, we're going to sack it to its own ability. Yes. And then let's put those +1 counters on the Metallic Mimic swinging in. That way, we're not going to just die to a Fairy Rogue token. And we'll keep that Fairy Rogue token down. So we're still getting in for... Yes. Alright, so we're looking at 3, 6, 8 coming across, which is still going to put them down to 9. And then both of their Path to Exiles whiffed on that one. So I'll take a little extra value on making their Path to Exiles whiff. And they're left with a Fairy Rogue that's not going to be able to do much. So, and then if we draw any other kind of dead creatures, but at this point, something like Scavenger Ooze would be nice. But we can still get down Lot Trolls, a nice little beater to kind of hopefully get past, if we can get a few extra counters on it, get past the those tokens over there. Okay. Alright, so drop them down to 12. Anything else we need to do for the turn? No, we're going to go and pass the turn. Alright, so we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 7. We've got 10 coming across. And with that Bitter Blossom putting in some work, it'll be pretty good. We can also get into spots where we can just leave back this Hangerback Walker and start putting more counters on it. So let's see what they go for. Got the Lingering Souls. Always have it. Let's go and crack the Windswept Heath. Let's grab that Overgrown Tomb. Put it into play tapped. Okay, let's see what we got. What do we draw? What do we hit for the turn? Draw another Catacombs. Let's go and get the Catacombs down. Let's go ahead and... Do we want to send the whole crew in? Yeah, I think I'm okay with sending the whole crew in. They're going to have to double block on some of these bigger creatures. If they want to trade on some of the Thopters, I'm A-okay with that. And then we can still follow up with a Lot Troll and still regenerate it to have it swing in with that Trample. Alright, so we're looking at 3 from our opponent. Let's say they double block on the Thopters. They can double block on the Metallic Mimic if they want to, but this still means we're getting a few extra damage in. Okay, so we're looking at 3 coming across with the extra Hangerback Walker. We're going to have the Lot Troll to get down. Let's see what it puts them down. Puts them down to 7. It's going to be 6 with the Bitter Blossom. And right now, we're just going to keep deploying as many threats as we can. So, And then this also gets us into the spot to where if we do draw a creature, we can put an extra +1 counter on there, and then we can regenerate it and get that trample damage through. So let's see, we're looking at 5, 7, 8, 9. So we're going to have 9 coming across. There's going to be 3 extra bodies coming out if they do go for the flashback on the Lingering Souls. One thing that they could go for would be animating Shambling Vent. They have enough mana, but it's going to tie up all of their mana. This could be one more extra body. That will gain them some life, but depending on how they want to sequence it, we can kind of go from there. So really just want to keep that pressure on. But this is one of those hands that, man, if we just had that hardened scales in our opening hand, it would have been a really pretty nice little hand. But we did not, so trying to make the best out of it. But the deck, it's pretty fun. I enjoy playing Aristocrats, and so when you have the Arcbound Ravager in here, where you can start sacrificing some of your artifacts, start putting those counters on different creatures, that's a lot of fun. And you know, is it a tier 1 deck? No, but it's still a fun deck to play. So let's go ahead and crack the Catacombs. That way we can get that Overgrown Tomb down. Okay, because of the play tapped. And we are looking at a Shambling Vent being activated from our opponent. They held that up. We draw a Woodland Cemetery. Not exactly what we want. Okay, anything we want to do. Let's go ahead and swing in with the 2 Thopter tokens. That's going to put them blocking with the Fairy Rogue. They're going to lose another life, which is going to put them down to 5. We're going to put them down to 5 unless they have some sort of removal for our 2 Thopters. Yeah, so we swing in for 2 because they activate the Shambling Vent. That's going to put them down to 5, and then they put them down to 1. That way it gets them to spots where if they're going to go Lingering Souls, we can kind of clear the board out, and then we can kind of swing in all next turn out that Bitter Blossom. We can put them down to 4. Then also, if we just get some type of Walking Ballista, if we can finally dig for a Walking Ballista, then we can just kind of empty them out. Secure the Waste. Okay, man. I didn't swing in because watching out for, I was assuming they were going to go for the Shambling Vent play, but they had the Secure the Waste, so definitely good play. Okay, so right now, basically just a Walking Ballista, getting it down. It's going to get the extra counter out there. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so we can actually get it down and have that counter and kind of close it out from there. So we'll kind of see what we get into, but we may end up just kind of swinging in next turn. If they go for the Lingering Souls activation or flashback out of the graveyard, it's going to put them out of the range of Shambling Vent. And, you know, we can just leave up Bitter Blossom, and eventually they're just going to die to their own Bitter Blossom. So let's go ahead and put a +1 counter on the Hangerback Walker. Make it a nice little, there we go, a nice little 3/3 buddy over there. And what do we draw? Nissa, Voice of Zendikar. I will definitely take that. So let's go ahead and go Nissa. And then we're going to go on -2, put a +1 counter of all of our creatures, and that's going to allow us to go ahead and just kind of swing in and just go for a nice little, because they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to put them into spots where they're going to have to kind of chump block across the board. And we've got a pretty nice little board state up and developed on this one. So let's go ahead and swing in. Should trade on a bunch of this stuff. We have the Allotlet Troll to regenerate, so it's going to take 2 bodies over there, and we can still regenerate it, getting across. And they still have the Bitter Blossom coming in. Okay, Path to Exile on. I've been watching Legacy this weekend on Star City Games, so I've got Swords to Plowshare in my head. We've got Hangerback Walker being exiled with Path to Exile. Okay, yeah, we have no sack out. There's nothing we can do in response, so fair enough. And then, yeah, we'll go and use that ability. Let's go and grab a forest off that one. All right, so we're swinging in for 4. We got 3 trample damage, and then we've got the 2/2 with the Thopters over there. See how they want to shake it down. So we've got the Warriors blocking on the Metallic Mimics. There's going to be 3 of those. We've got 2 Spirit tokens, and it's going to get in for 3. Okay. So they go to 1 and then the Bitter Blossom trigger? Okay, sorry, I was a little confused by that line because I'm not sure what else they have in their hand for 1 mana. Okay, there we go. I don't know, maybe they just got ahead of themselves. Okay, I was just trying to figure out what, I was like, I was trying to, going through my head, I was like, what do they have to get out of this? That's what I was trying to figure out. Okay, anything else we want to change? Kalitas, go for the Throat, Thoughtseize, Nature's Claim. I could bring in Nature's Claim. Yeah, let's go and do that. Let's cut the Savage Summoning. Take care of those intangible virtues. Maybe they get into a spot where they're about to swing in. We can blow it up and then kind of go from there. So who knows? All right, ship it over to game 3. Okay, So this is one of those beautiful hands that if this Nature's Claim was a Ancient Stirrings, I would keep it in a heartbeat. But we've got one land. We've got Hardened Scales finally. It was hanging out, so yeah, let's go on Mulligan. I'm just, if we don't hit the land drop, this is just not a good hand. And we go to, we do a no mana. Okay, I'll keep on this one. This is actually pretty good. Ancient Stirrings, Winding Constrictor, 2 land sources, and Metallic Mimic. So we're going to go and keep on this one. Get the graveyard all squared up. Do we want the? No, we'll go and put that on the bottom. Right now, I think we'd like to draw into another another artifact creature. So, okay, see what they go for. Get down the Arid Mesa. And no turn 1 play. I'll take that. Let's go ahead and go for. Probably going to go ahead and shock this ancient Overgrown Tomb in. Let's go and tap for green. Then let's go for the Ancient Stirrings. Metallic Mimic, and then the Arcbound Ravager. Let's go to grab the Ravager. That's going to allow us to kind of have our nice little creature suite and put those on the bottom in any order, and then we're going to go and pass the turn. So, next turn we're looking at Winding Constrictor. You know, if they want to go for the Path to Exile on Winding Constrictor, they can go for it. But we have Winding Constrictor, or we do have Metallic Mimic to give our constructs an extra +1 counter. So, let's go ahead. Ooh, and then Hardened Scales. Let's go ahead and go. Let's actually go Metallic Mimic, because I like Winding Constrictor sticking around more than anything. So let's see if there's any sort of removal test. Let's go ahead and type in Construct on the Metallic Mimic, and then let's go ahead and pass the turn. So if they have any sort of Path to Exile or a Fatal Push, then they'll definitely kind of use it now on the Metallic Mimic, more than likely, or if they want to hold on to it. So, and they do not. At least they opted not to go for it. All right, so next turn, hopefully, if we hit the land drop next turn, we can kind of deploy our safety net out. We can go for the Winding Constrictor, and then go for the Hardened Scales, and then kind of go from there. So we are getting into a spot now to where, land drop, come on, land, oh, Hardened, well, I'll take double Hardened Scales. We'll just actually go and deploy both of those out. Okay, so let's go and swing in for 2. Now, what we can do is with double Hardened Scales out, we can actually wait and go Winding Constrictor next turn and just cast Walking Ballista for its free cost. It's going to enter in with additional counter from the test. So it should be like a 5/5 or a 4/4 over there. And then we can go for an Arcbound Ravager to follow up with. So, yeah, I thought about getting it down now, but I'd like to hold on to Walking Ballista just in case, you know, somehow we draw into the Rite of Passage. We can get that down, cast the Walking Ballista for free. And then we can start pumping Walking Ballista on its own triggers, and then generate all those extra tokens on there, and kind of go from there. So, and plus with the Bitter Blossom, we kind of get oh man, Inquisition of Kozilek, got it, man. More than likely, we'll see what they go for. If they take the Walking Ballista, yeah, fair enough, buddy. Okay, let's see what else they're going for. Read the Bones. And let's see what else we draw into, but we can definitely lead off with Winding Constrictor next turn and get a little extra advantage. And then we can still swing in with Metallic Mimic if we want to, if they want to train with the Fairy Rogue, but we're probably going to hold on to it. So, see what we draw. Draw a Forest. Let's go and get the Forest down. Let's go for Winding Constrictor. Actually, let's go for, let's go for Winding Constrictor. And then do we want to swing in? No, we're okay. Let's go and pass the turn. So now we're looking at getting down Arcbound Ravager next turn. It's going to enter the battlefield as that +1 counter, and then we're looking at 1, 2, 3. It's not a construct, so it's not going to get the extra counter from Metallic Mimic, but we can get down Arcbound Ravager. It's going to enter the battlefield with at least 3 additional counters. Should be like a 4/4 or 5/5 on the Arcbound Ravager over there, so we'll kind of see what's going on. Sorin. All right, man. What's up, buddy? Doing all right? I remember you from game 1. Okay, let's see what we get into. Things that we can do. We can get down the Arcbound Ravager. We can sack it to get some different +1 counters, kind of shift them around if we want to swing in. But they're holding back right now, so we'll kind of see. Draw an Ancient Stirrings. Let's go and go for Ancient Stirrings. Just digging for a Walking Ballista at this point right now, because we can cast it and get the extra. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, I'll put those on the bottom in any order. Let's go ahead, and that way we don't lose it to another one. Let's go and cast it for 1. Yeah, I think this is going to be a 5/5, or it might be a 6/6. We're looking at 1, 2, 3. The extra counter from Metallic Mimic is going to come in with an extra counter. Excuse me, 8/8. All right, so it's going to get enough to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can actually just clear the entire board out. Let's go ahead and go. Let's take care of the Fairy Rogue token. Take care of the Fairy Rogue. And then we can blast the Vampire token. Path to Exile on Walking Ballista. Okay. So we've got that one targeting the Fairy Rogue. It's going to take care of that. Let's take care of the Vampire. Take care of the Vampire. And then I guess it doesn't matter if we send the damage up top or we send it to them. So let's go and redirect. Puts them down to 0. Send 2 up top. Puts them down to 11. Path to Exile fizzles. Fairy Rogue dies. And then we're going to be able to swing in for 4 now. It's going to put them down to 7. Okay. So we're going to have that Bitter Blossom. It's going to put them down to 6. We have Arcbound Ravager out there, so we can get down Arcbound to get a few extra counters between the Hardened Scales and the Modular. And we get into spots where we can sack the Arcbound Ravager to Metallic Mimic and kind of swing in and get those counters on there, depending on how they want to go out. They do have 1 card in their hand, so we do have to watch out for that. So let's see what we draw. Draw a Nature's Claim. Let's go and go for Arcbound Ravager. Okay, so we sack Arcbound, move those counters, ship them over to the Metallic Mimic. Let's go ahead and swing in right now. I think I'm okay with pushing in on the Arcbound Ravager play, so maybe they don't see it, or we can at least get in a few extra damage between that Bitter Blossom swinging in. We do have Nature's Claim. We're going to hold on to it. Don't want to give them 4 life at this point when they're sitting at 6 life. So, but yeah, with Arcbound Ravager, we can sack an artifact, put a +1 counter on Arcbound Ravager, and then move those counters around. So there's 4 counters on Arcbound, so we can actually, if they do no blocks, we'll be able to close it out. But at least we're going to be able to get in for 2. Okay, so they're tapping for 3. Secure the Waste. Okay, there's going to be 2 1/1 White Soldiers. They're going to get +1. There's going to be 2 2s. See how they want to go for this. Okay, so we've got the Fairy Rogue blocking on the Metallic Mimic. We've got double block on the Constrictor. We're going to take care of one of the Warrior tokens. Doesn't really matter how we want to go for it. The issue is, do we want to shift those counters onto the Metallic Mimic? They're basically 0 cards in hand, or do you want to leave the 4/4 body? Let's go ahead and... yeah, let's go and sack Arcbound to itself. We're going to put those on Metallic Mimic. We're going to get the extra counters from the Hardened Scales and the Winding Constrictor before it dies. It's going to go to a 9/8. Then that puts them into spots where they're going to lose a life. They're going to just basically have to keep chump blocking with our Metallic Mimic swinging in. And then, yeah, we just need to hold on to this Nature's Claim. We don't really want to give them 4 life at this point. And then hopefully we can get into spots where we can kind of close it out. So, worst comes to worst, we can blast the... if we get into another piece of removal, we can blast the Bitter Blossom, but they're going to gain that 4 life. Yeah, we just don't want to do that. We're just looking to hopefully kind of close it out from there. They do have Westvale Abbey out, though, so pay 5 life, 5 mana, sacrifice 5 creatures, and then you can transform it. But hopefully we can kind of maybe, we can even get into a spot to where if we can deal with the Fairy Rogue or something. Blooming Marsh, not exactly what we want. Let's get the Blooming Marsh down. Alright, so if we swing in, they're going to have to chump block on one of the creatures, and they're not going to have enough to kind of close it out. Yeah, let's go ahead and go for that. Going to come in hot. We're going to force them to at least block with one of their creatures. If they double block, it's not going to do anything. Okay, so we got the Warrior token being blocked. And that puts them into a spot to where in 5 turns, they can swing in each turn. They're going to go down to 4 with that Bitter Blossom. They can swing in for 2, but if we keep pushing with the Metallic Mimic and they're going to keep chump blocking with the Fairy Rogue, then we get into a spot where we can kind of close it out. Now, something like Lingering Souls is definitely going to be good for our opponent. That'll allow them to kind of stabilize and get enough stuff up and running. But if we could just simply draw a Walking Ballista, then we can kind of close this out. So we've already run through 2 of them. I'm pretty sure. Actually, 3 of them, I think. Yeah. So it may be a little slim pickings if we can find one, but at least we can kind of force the issue with the Metallic Mimic. So, and then they have 2 cards in hand and they didn't play anything for the turn. Let's see what we draw. Draw another Catacombs. Let's go and get the Catacombs down. Let's go and swing in for 7 with Metallic. For 9 with Metallic Mimic. Coming in hot. As long as we're just keeping those fairy rogues away, we'll be in a good spot. And worst comes to worst, if something happens, we can still Nature's Claim on our own hardened scales, because it is an enchantment. We're going to gain that 4 life, and that'll prevent our opponent from, hopefully they're going to die to their own Bitter Blossom triggers by the time they can kind of close it out. So if they do end up drawing into a, something like Secure the Waste, emptying it out for a bunch of stuff will be just absolutely brutal with the Intangible Virtue. But one line that we do have with the Nature's Claim is to blast our own hardened scales and kind of go from there. So as long as we can keep applying this pressure with the Metallic Mimic swinging in, we'll be in a good spot. So, and we're keeping him off that Westvale Abbey. Westvale Abbey mana. That's important. We're getting it to flip. That's not something we want. Let's see what we do. Draw an Ancient Stirrings. Okay, let's go and fire this off. See what we can come up with. We draw a Hangerback Walker. I will take that. Let's go and get the Hangerback down. Let's go ahead and put those on the bottom in any order. Let's go ahead and swing in, because this puts us into a spot to where we'll see what they got. If they've got to Secure the Waste to kind of empty it out, Fatal Push. Okay, and then let's go ahead and go. Let's go Hangerback Walker. So we've got 2 cards in hand. If we go Hangerback Walker for 1, that's going to enter 1. It enters a 3/3 that we can block, have enough bodies. Because I'm worried about, they've got 2 cards in hand. If they just dump out for Secure the Waste, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Puts us down to 12, and then we can gain the 4. Let's go ahead and go Hangerback for 1. Alright, comes in as a 3/3. That still leaves us Nature Claim to kind of blast it and get into those extra Thopter tokens. So, okay, I was just worried about a Secure the Waste at this point. We're just trying to be a little bit more cautious on this one. Okay, see how they want to swing in, and they do not know that we have the Nature's Claim in the hand. So we're going to be able to get into spots where we can blast it, depending on what they have, and then we can get those Thopters swinging in. Timely Reinforcement. Oh, man. Oh, brutal. Brutal, brutal. Okay, so they go to 6. I mean, they go to 8. They gain the 6. Go to 8. Okay. Fair enough, man. So they don't want to swing in. Let's go ahead and swing in for 4. It's going to put us down to 8. Do we want to chump block on any of that stuff over there? I think we're okay. Let's go ahead and Nature's Claim now. It's going to be 3 in the air, but they have Vigilance, so we're not going to be able to really get around that. We could put an extra counter on there. Yeah, okay. Let's wait for that. Oh, we draw a Pulse. I'll take that. Beautiful draw, actually. Let's go ahead and go for the Pulse on the Fairy Rogue. Actually, is there any certain way we want to sequence this? We don't want to lose it to any hand disruption. So let's go ahead and go Pulse on the Fairy Rogue. Then we get into spots where we can put an extra counter on the Hangerback Walker. We're going to get some more. We can Nature's Claim, just grind it out from there. Let's go and do that. Let's go Pulse. Pulse on those creatures. And if they have, Path to Exile or something, they can blast. Okay, they do not. So now do we want to get in for 3? Yeah, let's go and get in for 3. I'm okay with that. They're going to get the Bitter Blossom. Let's put them down to 5. Bitter Blossom can put them down to 4 off the trigger. And then we do have Nature's Claim to blow the hanger back up to kind of get some flyers in the air. Or, worst comes to worst, we can just wait, put an extra counter on there, get a few more flyers, and kind of get around those Fairy Rogues out there. So, beautiful draw with that Maelstrom Pulse. Hey, sorry, Magic Gods. That timely reinforcement. Now, this is another timely reinforcement. Oh, man. Perforos, okay. Pretty cool. Alright, so looking at 4, we still have the Nature's Claim option to gain that 4 lives, so we're going to be able to kind of bounce back from that. I don't think we want to crack this fetch right now, especially that Perforos out there. Okay, draw another Hangerback Walker. So we're looking at, and we still have another force to play. So what we can do is, let's go ahead and swing in. Then we get the Hangerback down and blow up the other Hangerback. I think I like that. I'm going to swing in for 3. They're going to have to chump block with the Fairy Rogue, because they're just going to be dead to the Bitter Blossom trigger. And then let's go ahead and go Hangerback Walker. And then we'll go ahead and does 2 damage to each opponent. So we 2 damage, we go to 6. And then we still have the Nature's Claim to cast in response to any sort of something kind of crazy happening. Let's just go ahead, and that way we don't have to crack a fetch. X is just going to be 1. We have the hardened scales out there. It's going to be another body to swing across. We can blast it with the Nature's Claim, get those extra tokens. Yeah, I would just hate to get into spots where somehow they get a bunch of creatures out there and we get a bunch of Proforos triggers up and running. So, okay. So we got 6 being dealt to us off the Proforos. Probably still going to go ahead and fire this Nature's Claim off on one of our hangerbacks. That way we can kind of force the issue with our Thopters in the air and hopefully get around the Fairy Rogue or the extra hangerback swinging across, coming across. They do have 2 cards in hand, so I'm not entirely sure what they have to kind of rally from there. It's also one of those things where if they do have like if they've just been holding on to Secure the Waste or something like that with all those Perforos triggers, and that'll definitely be very crippling to us. But we'll kind of see what they've got going on. Read the Bones. Okay, I like it. If they're digging right now with Read the Bones getting down to 1, I definitely like this. This is something, yeah, because that puts them into spots where they're just digging for something, some sort of answer with Read the Bones. Puts them down to 1. Even if it's Secure the Waste, it's 2 more creatures. We still have Nature's Claim to get a few more bodies out there to kind of push past that Fairy Rogue with the Thopter token. So I feel pretty good that hopefully we're going to be able to close it out after they fired that Read the Bones off. We'll kind of see what's going on. And let's see. If this is good, this is good. But a nice little matchup. I enjoy playing against black. Well, technically this is Mardu tokens, but I enjoy playing against tokens because it always leads to an interesting game. It's always just get your money's worth out of a Magic match. Okay, Lingering Souls. Okay, it's gonna be 2 more triggers in response before they have any other options to go. Let's go and go Nature's Claim on the tapped one. So we're going to destroy that, get those extra creatures in the air. We're going to have the extra Hangerback Walker. We're going to gain 4 life to make sure we stay ahead of that. There's no other shenanigans. And then we can just go ahead and pass the turn. And then they're going to die to that Bitter Blossom trigger. They've got 3 bodies on the ground. We have 4 bodies. So either way, we're going to be able to get in that last little point of damage by swinging in too. So, okay. And let's see if they go and pass it over. Then we'll be able to close. Man, that was a... those long games. I enjoy long games of Magic. It's always fun to play them. Okay, our opponent scoops it up. Yes, that was definitely a long game, but it was a nice little match. But you can see where this deck is. It's not necessarily tier 1, but it's fun to play if the cards fall into your favor and you get a hangerback. Unfortunately, we never saw Rite of Passage to where we could combo off with Walking Ballista. That's what makes the deck so much fun, is making a big 30-30 Walking Ballista or whatever it is and dealing that damage up top. So, but that will be the video. So if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.